Greetings, everyone. It's been a while. I know. Good morning or good afternoon. I don't know, what time of the day you're watching this, but it's been a while, and there's something that's quite bugging me a lot, or annoying me, however you want to say it. Well, maybe it's quite annoying everyone, and it's called, following your dreams. It's something that we've all, been told to do as a little kid, and usually you may have a mom or dad or aunt or uncle that would ask you, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And of course, as little kids, right, we have such an imaginary thought, right? Kids will respond with astronaut, lawyer, police officer, fighter, um, joining the military, becoming president, maybe. I don't know. But as time goes by, right, some kids will intend to be a bit more creative. Some kids would say, "I want to become a movie director. I want to become part of a band. I want to be a painter to make or some guy that makes great sculptures." A sculpture, forgot. I don't know. But of course, whenever kids have different dreams than the standard ones that parents expect, usually those parents are like, "Oh, you want to become one of those, huh?" And this all happened to me, right? I mean, the one thing I don't understand about following dream is that, well, who's gonna pay the bills, my man? Come on. And of course, with the inflation killing us, thanks a lot, Biden. Um, sorry. It's just that, well, there's no way of following your dreams, right? If you have a lot of bills to pay, and every hour that you have of the day should be towards paying your rent, paying your taxes. Fuck you, IRS. And most importantly, of course, food, water, shelter, internet that we all use every day now and then. And there's just no time of the day. And when you think about it, the thing I realize now is that whenever I ask a little kid, maybe it's my little cousin, whatever, they always have a colorful imagination. They want to do this, they want to do that, they want to explore the world, and whoopsie fucking do, buddy. Me too, and so do you. I'm like, come on, I may be an introvert or something like that, but I still like to go out, explore the world, see what's out there. But I'm like, what money? What money? Checking account? My savings account's like, stop. I can't anymore. I'm sorry, I got carried away there. But as a teenager, right? As a teenager, I actually got invested a lot into music, right? I remember one time when I was a kid, I picked up a game called Guitar Hero 3, right? And that game was such a revolutionary game. Yeah, I know it's from Activision, one of those greedy corps. But, it is what it is. I was still a kid, and I heard all these great songs that I still hear today because of it. And whenever I play, this game called Guitar Hero 3, right? It always inspired me a lot to, what if I can create something that I like, something that hasn't been done before. And I remember I went up to my mom, right? My mom's in the kitchen doing her thing, usual mom business, right? And as I was doing my homework in the kitchen table, right, my mom would ask me this: "What would you like to be when you're older, or what would you like to achieve in your time?" And I told her, "I want to become part of a rock band." And my mom's like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, and then all of a sudden there was a sudden shift in the aura. And my mother was like, "Wait a minute, but don't you want to do something else?" And I was like, "Yes, this is something else. This is something that well, I'm not sure if it's cliche or not, however you want to look at it. But however, though, this is something I am interested, right?" And my mother's like, "No, no, 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 no. That's not what I said when I said follow your dreams." I was like, "Wait, what?" And I don't know. I'm like, I'm always being told to do the things that you like to do. Well, not really, such as eating junk, or be yourself. But then the minute you become yourself, people start judging you already, which makes no sense. And I'm like, wait a minute. You told me to follow my dreams, be who I am, or be who you are, and the next thing you know, you're like, wait, 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 wait. This is not what I meant. I don't know. It just makes no sense for me. And I wonder how many kids have had this exact same conversation with their parents, where they just explain their parents what they want to do in life. And I'm not saying that, like, parents are dumb and that they don't know anything. No, no, no. I'm not saying that. But like the way I see it, most children have ambitious dreams that get shut down by the system that we live in, or by the type of homes they live in too. And it kind of, like, stunned me a little bit. And so then I asked my mother. I was like, "Well, what's a career that, like, that you like?" And then she would say, like, be someone that works in the office. And I was like, in an office? Fuck no! I don't want to do that shit. I want to be, like, happy. And I remember vividly, like, well, I remember, like, a John Lennon quote. By the way, great band, the Beatles, great band. John Lennon actually said, like, in the kindergarten assignment. I forgot. I gotta look up the quote. But John Lennon basically said that I was giving an assignment as a kid, and I basically said I want to be happy when I grow up. The teachers told me that I didn't understand the assignment, but I told them that they didn't understand life. And that kind of hit me hard in a way. And I was like, damn. And I wondered how many people have traded their, like, their dreams for financial security, because everyone is so worried about, like, whether or not that he or she is going to be financially stable. So as I get older, I later on realized that the world is like a bunch of people running around trying to make a name for themselves. Kind of like a gaming scoreboard or like a trophy system. Everyone's just trying to run around, like, prove themselves worthy. And I don't know. I just don't like this in a way. I don't like the way people are, like, being, like, brought up. People show who they really are with their ambitions and their dreams. And the next thing you know, they get shot down saying, hey, this ain't gonna happen. Now, I'm not saying it's gonna be easy, because it hasn't. And it's a good thing that it's not easy. It's a good thing. Because if life becomes too easy, then you eventually get bored. It's kind of like the Adventure Time, like, show where Jake says, in life you need problems, and Beamon's like, but that's stupid. And Jake's like, well, what's the point of living life if you have everything you want? And it kind of does, like, prove a good point. And this is a challenge that I must overcome, and many will too. Like, many have, like, challenges that they must overcome, but only time will tell. But yeah, that's something I really don't understand, and how we live in, especially since the whole schooling system is not really meant to teach or learn, but it's more like a simulation of what your whole life is going to become, of what you're going to do for the rest of your life. Kind of like the B movie, where the main character says, wait a minute, you're going to work us to death? We're going to work in the same jobs over and over and over again? We sure will try. And I was like, damn. So this is where our lives are headed. I don't know. It's just bizarre.